Okay, so my research question was, what effects of advancements in new human biotechnologies and genetic engineering need laws and restrictions for the protection of society? Our claim was that the current political actions are not sufficient to address or regulate the field of current human biotechnology. These are two headlines of a recent shocking accomplishment to genetically cloned twin girls from China. The first one says Chinese scientists briskly experiment with gene editing babies. And the second one says Chinese scientist claims world's first gene edited babies amid denial for hospital and international outcry. This is a big step because this illegal act has caused an outbreak of controversy amongst the views of society, especially in ethics. What is biotechnology and genetic engineering of humans? The genetic modification of humans is the manipulation or cloning of genes and has potential to cure diseases such as AIDS, HIVs, and even cancer. It can also treat illnesses or injuries using the technique called gene therapy. This is where a person's DNA is used to make an embryonic clone of them so they can use the stem cells to create the specific organs and replace them without them rejecting. And then experimental cloning is where the actual DNA of someone's embryo is modified by adding or taking away genes to create the DNA of an embryonic clone. I use similar sources B and F. The first one, B, extrasensory perception. I use this quote, 25 years later, science successfully intimated the art with the generation of mice cloned from the single sensory neuron from the nose axil. This illustrated how society and science have grown from early technology and why we must consider what can be achieved and how it will impact our future. And then I use source F, sense and sensibility, this quote specifically inspired my thought process around the idea of problems with the freedoms of biotechnology, because this connection of sensor technology throughout the environment, which altogether these led me to my research question about the protections that needed to be there. And for ethical dilemmas, some aspects that combat society's ethical values are the people's diverse interpretations of DNA modification that provide an underlying support of shrewd and societal stereotypes or stigmas, which come from things and ideas like genetic perfection or like designer babies, humans' right, and then generational effects later in life, and then widening gaps between the rich and the poor. And then most of the major groups affected by this are people with medical disabilities, women, and like mostly minorities. So my conclusion and solution. My conclusion was that regulations and restrictions need to be made more strict and explicit in order to effectively protect society. My first solution was that we need to develop specific definitions of the distinctions between therapeutic and experimental human genetic engineering studies. And then my second solution was that we need to allow specialized scientists and experts in medical ethics and human rights to guide political actions and lawmakers so that all society can be considered in the ultimate decision of this process. And then my limitations. My first limitation is that we don't know all the possible outcomes of these studies, so we won't know all the possible regulations we needed for them, because we haven't done like all the studies yet. And then my second limitation is that the necessary laws will take an excessive amount of time to create, and then we wouldn't be able to keep up with the high speed of scientific advancements in biotechnology, because it would take such a long time to decide and come up with.
Okay, and one question for you, Lily. Explain the level of certainty that you have about your conclusion, solution, or recommendation.
Well, I'm pretty certain that society now needs this because it's such a big topic and it affects like almost everyone to an extent. And if we don't, then our future is like going to be like extremely impacted by it because of the effects.
Okay.